What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this RWBY discussion, this time talking about Volume 7, Episode 13, The Enemy of Trust. I'll look a little bit darker for this episode, because unfortunately both of my lights went out last night, and I haven't replaced them. To my left, we have Travis.
What's up?
To his left, we have Mike. And I think we should just hop straight into it with this one. So it's the finale. A lot of stuff was bound to happen. And it starts off with a bang. With Junior and Oz fighting Neo. And this is the kind of Neo that I'm used to. Where she just tap dances on them.
She kicked their ass, dude.
She didn't get hit a single time. The closest thing was Oscar grabbing her legs, and then it's just a fucking part of her semblance. Just, they hit her, and psh.
What was OP? Well, I mean, I did like when John stepped in. It just shows that he really is the leader of this team.
It was nice, but he did also just come out of nowhere to do that. Because like he was on the other side of the hallway, and then he just steps around. I looked at that, I was like, God damn it, where the fuck did he come from? Apparently he's unlocked the super speed part of his semblance as well. Yeah, and we see that Jean's shield has a new sort of dust deflection aspect to it. Which, it looked purplish, so it implies gravity dust.
Something that I noticed, and I was wondering about, why was Oscar so out of breath and so, like, tired? I mean, I get that he fought a little bit before this, but it doesn't imply that his aura is broken because his aura gets broken later in the show. Or the episode.
It could just be physical exhaustion. Because you can still get tired even with your aura. And him just not being as physically fit as the rest of them, I guess, even though he works on a farm, or worked on a farm. Anyway, Neo leads them on a magical chase, where she's just pretty much tap dancing with them, and then they eventually get attacked by the Atlas security. So they continue running after, and Oscar ends up falling behind because he is clearly exhausted. And then, all of a sudden, someone grabs him and pulls him into a room, and he thinks it's Nora, as the guards run by. And then immediately he gets attacked by her with an umbrella. And you see her eyes blink, and she's got the two different color eyes that are famous for her. And then she also has the relic.
I'm gonna go ahead and blame John for that. Like, as a leader, you should be paying attention to things like this. Like, hey, like, all right, so you have a vanguard and you have a rear guard, but you were just like running after her, trying to catch her as quickly as possible instead of being where you're surrounded.
Yeah.
Was right.
Were you saying something, Trev?
I immediately knew that it wasn't her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the grab, and then all of a sudden off to the side, I'm like, no, that's not her.
It's exactly how it initially should have been. That's what we were talking about, is what it should have initially been, what we were expecting it to be. And then she ends up still running around looking like Nora, and starts getting attacked, or she attacks Jean, who's kind of off-put, but then she just easily dances around him. And then Ren attacks her, and then she just puts on a sad puppy dog face, and Ren immediately loses his cool.
Yeah, about that. he gets up like thinking what just happened there, and then when they're running later, he's crying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he can't attack her, and you have to wonder if that's going to come into play later on, like if she's going to try to use that against him again in a fight, and he's going to have to like rise above it or something. I'm
wondering if he's going to view it as like, because of my feelings for Nora, I wasn't able to fight. These feelings are getting in the way. I'm wondering if that's going to happen.
It made him weak, is how he's going to look at it, definitely.
That's been the whole his running theme like through this whole season.
Yeah.
It's leading to him leaving their team and go on to work for Ironwood.
Well, that's already, I can't say it's set sail yet, but.
Well, there's reasons why that can't set sail anymore. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah.
Her face did kind of remind me of Nora when they were in the village, fighting the Knuckle of V. Yes, her face was very similar to that. Just kind of that look of sadness and disappointment in red. So I'm wondering if it was trying to be a callback to that or a setup for what's going to happen. Maybe both.
Toss up. Maybe both. And then she turns into one of the guards.
Neo does. Yep.
With the thing on her, with the
relic,
trinket, or the relic. Thank you, on her belt, and just walks off.
Yep. Exactly how simple it should have been in the first place. But instead, she had to do stupid things and get punched for plot. All right. Whatever. Ren starts beating himself up and starts kind of taking it out on himself and his team, and Nora even. Saying that they weren't ready to be huntsmen. He just starts yelling and getting mad about it.
Mm-hmm. Now Salem has the lamp, Ironwood has the staff, and we have nothing.
And we have nothing.
Yeah, I mean, granted, like, he is just beating himself up here. He's not entirely wrong. Like, kind of the way that the teams kind of just handle things was not at the level of, like, what you would have expected out of huntsmen and hunters, or you really would expect it out of them at this point.
Especially after everything that just happened, where their teams were just kicking ass, and all of a sudden they just get outplayed by one person.
Well, I mean, Neo is pretty strong.
I get that, but still, at the same time, it's four people fighting one.
But that's just how good Neo is, and that's what the Aesop should have been. I didn't realize that Neo was a fucking goddess among men.
Yeah, but my thought was like, my whole thing was with that was like, okay, cool. You would have thought their priority would have been to protect the relic, right? But that clearly was not like it felt like that was the furthest thing from their mind at this point. It felt like they were just trying to fight. But I was like, nah, what are you guys doing? Like, you left Oscar, the person who has the relic currently. You're not keeping your eyes on that. You already know where his semblance is, and you're just being careless. It was just, it was like I expected better from their team. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, it was definitely a huge oversight, but I think that they thought that Oscar was keeping up with them. But like you said, they should have been more conscious of that.
Yeah, definitely Jean should have been.
And then Nora's face when he yells is just, that's so sad.
Yeah.
And then the call happens.
Yeah, they get a call from Team RWBY, Maria, and Pietro saying that they're stealing a ship. Which, how the fuck did they steal a ship to get up there? Didn't they have to steal a ship to get up there?
I don't know, man. You're asking the wrong person the wrong questions.
Just the continuity in these last couple of episodes, I'm not a fan of so many details of. This is kind of the big continuity issue with this part of it. The rest of the episode's kind of fine, but especially just last episode, that's just still left such a sour taste. But anyway, Oscar ends up leaving the rest of them. He joins them on that call saying he
slips away, and you don't even see him slip away. He's just gone all of a sudden. Again, why aren't y'all paying attention to this?
Oh, that's his semblance, actually. Just no one cares about Oscar.
GG.
Yep, he's just invisible whenever he feels like it. Just okay, invisible.
He says that he's got to go do his own thing. He's got his own message to take care of, or mission to take care of. Mm-hmm. And let's just jump into that one, right?
Really? You want to save that for last?
Man, we can't save that one for last because there's still stuff that happens afterwards.
Second last.
All right, we can go through Penny and the Winter Maiden and all that right now. We can go through the Winter Maiden stuff right now.
All right.
Cinder starts the battle with Penny and Winter. And it kind of starts off where Winter's not even a fight, or like not even someone who's fighting. It's just Penny versus Cinder. But it very quickly ends up becoming that three-way match. Not quite in the same way that it was with Tyrion and Crow and Clover, but 2 versus 1.
Yeah.
They end up bursting out of the building and entering a flying battle where Winter's using her semblance to conjure up a Grim. Penny's just flying using her own technology powers, and Cinder's flying using the Maiden's powers. I'm sorry, I skipped a part.
I was very happy with this fight. Actually, I thought it was a great fight.
Not much happened in it, but I thought it was pretty good for what was there.
Like compared to the like the fights that we've seen in the previous couple episodes, this has been my favorite fight out of all of them.
It's not mine, but I did like it.
Yeah, it was a nice change of pace for sure.
Just like so much cool stuff happened. Not maybe like someone dies or some like there's a backstab or something, but so much cool stuff happened in this fight that it had my attention the whole time.
For me, that's still going to be the Oscar the Ironwood versus Watts fight. That was still my favorite.
That was pretty good. Yeah. I like that one too.
But this was a very cool one. Seeing the difference in powers that they have was very cool. But kind of before they actually start flying, Cinder does go on to a little rant about how the elites of Atlas are hoarding all of their power, making the rest of us starve. Shut the fuck up, Cinder, you power-hungry bitch.
And I refuse to go hungry.
I refuse to starve.
Where's Cinder even from?
We don't know. They've never revealed it. It sounds like she's from Mantle with this.
Is she from Mantle? Yeah.
But I don't know.
She was created like the Force. Like Darth Vader was created by the Force.
What's your name? Cinder Palpatine.
No, please. We ain't starting that up in here. Not up in here, we ain't.
But from the battle, Winter ends up having her aura walk. God damn it. She gets her aura knocked out, and she starts falling, and Penny chooses, instead of chasing after Cinder, to save Winter. And Winter has that line, "My life doesn't matter."
Life doesn't matter.
I disagree.
I love Penny's one-liners.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts in the whole episode. When Cinder walks up and is like, "You've had your time in the sun," and then all of a sudden it was like, "No, not today."
Cinder goes in to kill the maiden, and the maiden just holds her off easily with one arm. And this is an old woman who has dementia.
I've been waiting here for something. Then all of a sudden she just full form maiden, and it was the coolest thing because now you know that Cinder is nowhere near tapped into that power yet, and she is just not ready for this.
And Winter calls out exactly what it is. This is the power of a fully realized maiden.
I knew she was gonna wake up too. I knew it.
Yeah, you did call out that she was stirring last time.
I didn't think it was gonna be like this, but dang.
I didn't think she was gonna do anything like that either. But Winter ends up not being able to reach the maiden to calm her down because it's too cold and she's a human. But who isn't a human? Penny! And so she just goes flying in.
I told you this was going to happen. What did I say?
It was always a possibility. I did not think it was going to happen, but it was always a possibility.
Well, they've cracked open the possibilities here.
Mm-hmm.
Like this
Campbell's chicken noodle soup possibilities.
GG.
And Penny starts to talk to the Winter Maiden. The Winter Maiden clearly says that she clearly trusts Ironwood too. Even the maiden does. Saying that, James made I made a promise to James, blah blah blah. And only his friends call him James. Remember that.
Yeah, all right,
wait this is mentioned.
Just wait.
And she ends up asking Penny, "Are you the one?" And as we find out here shortly, she is. Because Cinder, after the maiden has calmed down, breaks back into the battle to attack Penny, where Winter intervenes again. Winter, who still has her aura broken, still fighting like a champ. Hey, you remember how the Aesops were completely useless after their auras were broken? What the fuck?
Yeah, she was not. She came right back in, which makes you think. It did show it break, right? It didn't just flicker; it broke.
Yeah, it full on broke. That's the reason why she couldn't use her semblance to get herself back up.
Exactly, and there wasn't that much wait time in between.
Mm-hmm.
That's just pure force of will.
When you see her reach towards the towards the Winter, and it like burns her hand because it's so cold, her aura didn't protect her there.
Yeah,
so it's still down, and then all of a sudden she comes in. Well, I mean, that would explain why. I guess she's so strong that she's able to go afterwards. And then you see her actually get cut and blood is out. There's been blood spilled. at that point, so you know that her aura is still down.
Mm-hmm. I thought she was gonna die there after it was showing us that she was bleeding. I was like, yep, she's definitely vulnerable.
Yeah.
But she ends up not doing that because while this is happening, while Winter and Cinder are fighting, Penny takes the Winter Maiden's powers. It's transferred to her.
And how about those eyes? That's not blue eyes. Those are green eyes.
Which I thought was weird. I guess it could make sense that the Maiden's powers aren't... The color doesn't correlate to the season, but to the aura of the individual person. But it still just felt weird to me.
Yeah.
But was Cinder's aura red before?
It's implied that it was, but we don't know.
We never saw it. Yeah.
The closest thing we saw was like her outfit light up in that orangish glow, but that was through the use of dust, and she's been a fan of that lava-style dust before, so it's just kind of implied.
And then of course, the fight. You know, that's you don't even see the fight between two maidens happen. It's just Ruby steps in and it's like, oh, and then it's done.
And there was zero hesitation between that. Fucking Ruby just looked at Cinder and just went, boom!
What up?
And Cinder disappeared. She retreated. Penny was fine, though, so that kind of puts a damper on one of my theories, but it could also be that Penny is a robot, so it didn't affect her. Because I think that the Maiden powers are supposed to make you super vulnerable to the silver eyes. That's kind of the thing that was implied with Salem in the past.
But I don't know. Maybe it has some. I think it has something more to do with the grim part of her body.
But that Cinder didn't get that grim part of her body until it first burned her.
She had just gotten the maiden, and then when she did that, that's when she got like her arm destroyed.
Okay. Maybe she's able to concentrate it on individuals.
Maybe. We just don't know enough. But Salem specifically called out, saying that, you know, with your new powers comes a new massive weakness as well, and I assumed it was the silver eyes. But with Penny, I just don't know. And that might be the reason why she has green eyes instead of blue, because she might just be like a pseudo-maiden. I just don't know.
We'll find out in about a year from now, and some change.
It also raises questions of her having a soul versus Pietro's soul, and how all that works. But I'm just not going to get into that one.
Eventually, we'll get some answers. Yeah, we'll just keep theorizing until then.
Yeah.
So are we going to go back to Oscar on the?
Not quite done yet.
All right.
So Winter tells Penny that the Winter Maiden isn't gone. She's now a part of Penny. And I feel like Winter kind of resents Penny now, because there was a look that Winter gave that was nothing. It looked just like nothing but apathy, or maybe some resentment towards Penny, which is a look that we've never seen her give before. And Winter, she was looking forward to getting these new Winter Maiden powers, and now she can't.
You have to wonder how that's gonna, what choices are going to be made later on by Winter and Ironwood because of this.
Yeah, which there's the theory I have that I'm going to get into here in a smidge. So now I guess it's time to get into the Ironwood and Oscar portion.
Yep. He bravely goes downstairs to meet with them.
Yep. Ironwood first thinks it's Winter, thinking she has the main powers. He turns around and gets very serious, seeing that it is Oscar. Questions if it is actually Oscar, or if it's another lie, if Ozpin is actually there. But Oscar's like, nope, just me. And they end up having a conversation. Ironwood says that even, it's a smart thing you didn't bring the relic down here, because even I wouldn't trust myself.
What is that supposed to be?
I think it's just him recognizing that he is a very different person than the person that they've been getting to know. That he has made decisions that are very unstable as far as everyone else is viewing. Which is the exact same kind of thing that I would say in a scenario like that.
And then he's even to the point where he's like, "Are you going to fight me?"
Yeah, because he's got the staff drawn and everything, which is Oscar's weapon. Oscar says, no, that's what Salem wants.
Well, it just helps calm him down when he's afraid.
When I'm afraid. Just like you are. And Arnold was just like, you still think I'm afraid? Motherfucker, you think I'm afraid? I fucking cut out my heart, motherfucker. No more fear in this bitch.
He literally backs him to that corner.
Yeah, he starts fronting on him.
Walking around, backing him up. The minute I softened and let my guard down, that's when Salem got her edge.
And he starts listing off all the people that got in his way, that put his plans back. Hill, the councilman, and just everyone who's caused him issues. If he just went with his gut, nothing bad would have happened. And he's kind of right.
Uh-huh.
And Oscar ends up saying, is like, I can't remember exactly what his lines were, but it was pretty much, James, we can still figure out a solution to this. We can still work together on this. And that's when he has the line.
James, to my friends call me. To you, it's General.
Holy shit, that moment was so incredible.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, what are you doing?
I was not expecting that. What were you saying, Mike?
I wasn't either. Like, at this point, cause I was like, all right. So I don't know if it's just because of circumstance. Like, he's just like, right now, he's just making, I don't know. I mean, I want to say irrational decisions, but yeah, like, he had to have known, like, this was, like, Oz is still in there, right? Or maybe he never believed him to begin with. But, like, why would he do that? Like, now, like, he knows that he's going to be transferred to an entirely different person at some undisclosed amount of time.
That's not Ironwood's issue.
And it's not, but I wouldn't even think, like, this person that appears to pose almost no threat, and he just like, all right.
So I'm not going to let anyone else get in my way. That is how I took it, because he's listing off everyone who tried to soften him up that led to this scenario. And so he's like, I'm not going to let it happen anymore. Boom. Time for me to be the Tin Man.
Puts on some shades. Pulls that
see Oscar falling, and he's like, it's like he's giving up because you saw his aura break.
I wasn't sure if it was him giving up or if he was unconscious.
Well, he had his eyes open, and then I guess he was falling.
Eyes open.
And then his eyes started closing whenever he was falling, and then all of a sudden, Ozpin comes back.
And Ozpin finally returns, reinvigorating Oscar and giving a speech as the rest of the episode kind of continues.
The single quality that is common across every living creature on this planet is fear. It's funny then that as common as fear is, we so easily underestimate its power. Fear of growing close to someone. The subsequent fear of loss. Fear of failure. And as more people depend on you, those fears can take on greater power. But fear itself isn't worthy of concern. It is who we become while in its clutches. Will you be proud of that person? Will you forgive them? Will you understand why they felt the need to do the things they did? Will you even recognize them? Or will the person staring back at you be the very thing you should have feared from the start? I suppose we all find out sooner or later.
I like that as just like a placing that pretty much like on the entire season, because like you could see that pretty much all across the board with Ironwood, with Team RWBY, everyone showing fear in different forms. How they basically like who did you become by the end of the season? Like what those fears, what was realized from them? How did the person change?
Yeah. Though it also raises a question for me. So the episode's name is The Enemy of Trust. And it's
Yeah.
so talking heavily about fear. Is it saying that fear is the enemy of trust? Because I hardly disagree with that. Hardly. I very dramatically disagree with that.
You wholeheartedly disagree. with
Wholeheartedly. That's what I'm looking for.
Why do you disagree?
Because I'd say the enemy of trust is disloyalty. Or lying.
I mean, in a way, they can both. Like, I guess because of fear, you are disloyal. I don't know. I guess there's a different take. You can maybe they were looking at that from like a slightly different angle, but it could be interpreted both ways. I think.
Most of the time, when I see people do things out of trust, it's because fear and them standing up to it. Their courage in facing fear, and in doing that. Because like with Clover, all he was trust. And he was I think he was absolutely afraid in fighting Crow. I think he was absolutely expressing that, but it was just him sticking to that resolve the whole way through. And so I just don't like the idea that the concept of fear being the enemy of trust.
You don't like, I guess, like that label being, this is the opposite. Like, this is like you have trust and you have fear as like the opposite end. Like,
yeah.
Destroys trust. Like,
it's like the whole thing of like love being the opposite of hate, which I disagree with as well, because I'd say the opposite of love is apathy. And that's a test that was something that Miles Luna, one of the writers, fully agreed with. It's in the previous season with the episode involving the apathy. That was kind of the concept he was preaching. That was a message I fully agreed with.
Yeah, I guess as instead of like it being the opposite, like a lack thereof would be the opposite.
Yeah. As we're kind of cutting towards the end, we see a number of clips kind of come and go. We see that Crow and Hill are both arrested. And Crow holding that bloody 4-leaf clover. We see that Team RWBY, Junior, Pietro, and Maria all are getting away on a jet that they stole.
Freaking, my favorite part was when Ospen was falling.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
You shut your mouth. You see that Cinder's completely livid. She ends up meeting with Neo. And Neo, the only person who can get the job done, fucking hands her the lamp on a silver goddamn platter.
And not even a thank you.
Not even a thank you. But
She
I'm
could
wondering
do
if
this
Cinder's going to use that final question. Iron finds out that the maiden is gone, and then he freaks out, yelling madly.
Because he shot him off the edge there. So he's thinking, now all I have to do is get Winter in here. We'll get this thing and we'll get everything going. And nothing is working out for him now. He just shot his friend, and now he doesn't have the Winter Maiden.
I wonder if he can send Atlas to the heavens anymore. Because you need the Staff of Creation to do it, which means you need the Winter Maiden to enter the fucking chamber.
Yeah, that had to have been like crippling. Because like, all right, if you put it all in perspective, like everything that's been done thus far, he's put on martial law. Team RWBY's been expelled. He just shot Oscar and collectively Aspen off of the cliff. And not only that, he doesn't have the Winter Maiden. He already knows the turret's down and Salem is killing. Like, all this compiled all at once, and he's like, "Dang, I did all this, and look what I had. Look what I have to show for it. It's like all this happened. Now I get nothing."
And when
There's no way he lives. There's no way he lives in the next season. He won't make it.
I wonder if he's going to fight Team RWBY. Because he must be viewing this whole thing, like, once he figures out who the new Winter Maiden is and where Penny is, I think he's just going to view this as like, oh, you all are just doing everything you can to fuck up humanity, huh? You just want Salem to win, don't you? All right, Pietro, boom, you're dead. Fucking Team RWBY, boom, 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 boom.
Let me get the other gun out.
Yeah.
Well, there is still a way to float the city. Did you see that fucking whale?
Are they going to use the whale to float the city?
No, I'm just saying the whale grim.
Oh, yeah, but we're going to get there.
It had gravity crystals shoved through it, man.
Is that what it was, or just a design?
Could be design, but it looked like gravity crystals to me.
It could be. But we'll get to the whale here in a second. The final thing that we cut to is seeing that Watts is still alive. And he's looking out as something's happening, very happy. Then we cut to seeing Oscar as he's now fallen through Atlas using magic to guide his hand, which I'm pretty sure is magic and not his semblance because, his aura broke.
But his aura is regenerated.
Which is possible.
Because it might be Osmond's aura now.
Well, there's the same aura.
I don't know, but all of a sudden you see him going back and forth and he hits the ground. No, aura ball. That was so cool.
Which could be an effect of the weapon, or it's just straight up magic. Because that is what Ozpin can do, is straight up magic. And Ozpin starts speaking, he's like pretty much getting ready to go into an apology, saying thank you for what you've done. And Oscar's just like, shut up. All I want to know is what can we do to save Atlas? Oscar's a fucking champ this episode. I'm liking him more and more every time we talk to him. Should have never lied, but still liking him more and more. But then that's when we start getting reports of a massive Grim has appeared, or, readings that we can't believe coming through the radio for Team RWBY. And that's when we see the whale, surrounded by thousands of Grim. And atop it stands Salem. There was no after credit scene in this one. Instead, it just ended with "We still love you, Monty."
Yeah, I kind of expected it to be, since the episode ended at like 19:30, and it was a 24-minute episode.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else happened.
That was just the credits. I guess, and this is the first season that they haven't done an after credit one. They said they wanted to put their animation efforts towards more practical uses instead of focusing on an after credit scene. But I mean, how much does that really take comparatively? Especially because you can make it simple and just like reuse something that you've already got going. Like you reuse a setting and just have a couple of people just talking. Some fancy editing, you can make it all look very, you can all make it very easy to animate. But I guess it depends on the story and what the story needs. Which then, of course, leads us into what theories will happen next. What's going to happen to Atlas? What's going to happen to Mantle? Everyone's gonna die.
They sure were fully prepared to leave Crow and Oscar behind, because they definitely were riding up out of there.
What?
I said.
Not you.
No.
Not necessarily, because they didn't show them actually leaving. It just showed them flying around, because they looked up and they saw the well Grim coming through. So I don't think they're gonna leave. I think they're going to stay and try to help, because they weren't about leaving the people of Mantle behind for them to die.
Yeah, but I think they were still like about to leave, though.
They may have been.
I don't know. Maybe they're just regrouping, taking a moment to think things through. But yeah.
I do think they can stay now, though.
So a lot of our predictions from earlier on didn't quite pan out. A lot of the death predictions, because this is going to be continued into the next season. Penny's gonna fucking die. Penny's whole story is that she is Pinocchio, and this is a giant fucking whale. Nope. This is Pinocchio, Geppetto, and whatever the fucking whale was called.
Monstro.
This is not how it's going down. You said Penny was gonna die. She didn't die.
This is true, but she's gonna die next season. There's no way in hell that Penny lives. There's no way.
Penny's gonna stay strong and live.
We'll find out. Ironwood's still alive, but there's no way he's gonna live past next season.
I mean, I'm surprised he's lived this long.
As have I. Or as am I.
I feel like Penny has a shot, but Ironwood is definitely going down.
Yeah.
There's no way he doesn't give his life saving what he's trying to build and protect.
What if they do get eaten by the whale and they're just inside it? It'd be weird.
I don't know.
What if this is all just a dream because of them being inside the whale?
GG.
So I'm looking at the crystals on the back that you were talking about, where you thought were like gravity crystals. I don't think those are gravity crystals. Because those look like the dark crystals that you see at the Fountain of Darkness. at the Dark God's
Pools of
Spring.
Grim.
That pool of Grim, that's it.
So what if the freaking whale Grim is actually spawning more?
That's what I think.
Yeah, spawning more Grim.
Yeah,
Well, then Atlas is going down.
essentially a mobile pool.
Well, he's just gonna have to rush the. I think it's gonna end up being where Penny's gonna have to go back and get the staff, and they're gonna have to rush this whole thing because
Maybe.
they're not gonna be able to. They're not gonna be able to fight it. They're gonna have to retreat.
Unless, of
Ruby.
course, Atlas Academy Colossus mode comes back.
Mech
that
5.
was a theory I had earlier on, where I think Atlas Academy is going to form a giant mech.
Like Alexander.
Yeah.
God, I hope not. That would be so stupid.
That'd be so on par with what they've done, though, with the setup of Volume 6, having that giant robot.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be beautiful.
Also, Salem's outfit's weird. She's rocking that, like, open boob outfit, and it just looks really weird to me.
Yep, she's just getting ready to see her boyfriend. Go on that date.
Hello, Oscar, dear.
GG. I'm looking forward to. I like Oscar's development in this episode.
Mm.
And what's preparing for next season? Because yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, oh snap, is he using magic? So like now, is he gonna learn how to use his from Ozpin? And I guess he's gonna be like a main player.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, because it looks. I mean, it seems to me like. I mean, why wouldn't he have taken over Oscar by now?
Because he doesn't want to. Maybe that's just not how it works.
Maybe, but he's been taking over everybody else, right?
No. We've had no reason to believe that. He said previously that he does his best to live his life, accomplish his goals, while also working in tandem with the lives of the people who he inhabits. That's the reason why I never thought that Ozpin's going to take full control, or that Oscar's going to fully leave. It's possible he's capable of it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it fits his character. Remember, he is the hero of light. There is no one more justified and good than he is.
But even the hero
Allegedly.
lies.
I mean, like, he lied a little bit, but he ended up telling Salem every bit of his lies. And even then, it was just, like, out of, like, goodwill. And, like, him just trying to be a good person because he felt like he could trust her. But, like, fucking Ruby, man. The way that she lied and just kept lying. Oof.
He's doing it.
I cannot tell you how much I still fucking hate that line. He's doing it! Shut the fuck up, Ruby! Shut the fuck up!
GG. He's actually doing it.
They just... that line, and then all the... Like, Yang always has those one-liners. They're just following orders, Blake. Shut the fuck up, Yang.
Those are the two lines of the season that got you.
And it's like, it's still nowhere near as bad as the one last season that Yang said, where it's like, I can't remember the exact line. It was like, who you were just pretending to be, you know?
Oh yeah.
Towards Adam, it's like, shut the fuck up, Yang. You don't know jack shit. What the fuck are you talking about, girl? Oh yeah, fucking look at me, Yang, moral fucking center. I'm gonna walk into this bar and grab this guy's dick before I ask him a question.
Man, I think there was a time when I thought you liked it for at least a little bit, but
Most
then
of
after
Volume
like
5,
she lost,
I really liked her.
okay. I was gonna say,
Volume
after
1
she
through
lost
3,
her
I
arm,
also really liked her.
yeah, post 3, like after she lost her arm, it felt like you were just like, man, I hate it. And then you like liked it for a little bit.
I hated her PTSD because it was pointless. It provided no character development for her. It should have, but it never did. And then it's like, okay, now she's finally on her mission to go visit her mom. This is something that she's talked about since Volume 2, maybe even Volume 1. It probably was Volume 1. but she's talking about this, and then she finally meets her mom, and she's like, you know what? I've fucking grown since then. I don't need you anymore. All I want is to get to my real family, to get to RWBY. I was like, all right, yeah, this is the Yang I like to see, Volume 5 Yang. And then she fucking faces her mom as like, you're afraid of Salem. And it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, Yang. Then Volume 6 happens. It's just like, Jesus, fuck Yang. Shut the fuck up.
She went from being like one of the big characters to being like it just doesn't seem like she's one of the main characters anymore. She's very to the back.
Mm-hmm. But always has to come in with those one-liners. Oh, see, I am relevant. Oh.
GG.
I just hate Yang so much. It fluctuates. I'm hoping I'll like her next season. I doubt I will, but I'm hoping.
Mike, any theories?
Any theories? So with this whole whale thing, I was also thinking the same thing. That's actually what I thought initially, without noticing that this was an actual whale. I thought pretty much that whole thing on the bottom was like the depth of like the pool of Grimm. She was just carrying it because she never like leaves it.
That could be. That could be the
I-
limiter, that she can't leave the pool of Grimm, or can't be like so far away from it. So maybe she is carrying it with her.
So what I think is probably going to happen is I don't think
if
that
she does leave it, what happens? Because she can't die.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Might just like force her to stay near it. I don't know. It's just weird because it's like, why the fuck is she doing everything she's been doing when she's immortal and can just manually go through and kill everyone? No one can stop her at that point.
Unless there's more to it, yeah.
And it's like, why is she the one in the tower? Why the whole story of the girl in the tower has been referenced previously. And even though that references her backstory, I feel like it also references who she still is. But that's all just theory.
Yeah, like why was she locked up? What's the relation to the king? If even if there is one, or if there was a king in the past, I don't know. But we're just gonna leave that. My theory is they're not gonna escape. They're not gonna be able to get that relic out. Or let's say they do get the relic out. They're not gonna be able to take it into the sky. Somebody else is gonna steal it. Atlas is gonna crash. I'm still expecting Atlas to crash.
Yeah.
Is one theory for sure. As far as who the relic is going to get to, I don't know. Honestly, that's a wild card. Somebody's going to die. Somebody has to die. Otherwise, I really don't know what's going to go down in the next season if somebody dies. I don't know. I guess we would have to wait and see, but I feel like maybe there's going to be some sort of showdown with Salem and Team RWBY, at least to some degree.
And that's when Blake dies.
And possibly somebody from Team RWBY from that. I'd prefer if that didn't happen. But we'll see.
Fucking Ruby and Aesop's have another battle. Like, they're facing off. It's like, you can't beat us. We already won against you last time. She's like, yeah, that's how it was. And then you trained us. Wait.
GG. Yeah, man, it's still not gonna let that one go.
It's just such.
I honestly didn't want them to lose that fight. If you want to be perfectly honest, I expected them to honestly lose that fight, get captured and sent somewhere else, and then they escape.
Yeah.
Instead of the fight.
That would make more sense. Who could capture and break them, or who could break them out? Oh, I don't know, Pietro and Maria, since they apparently can just break in anywhere and do anything and have magic abilities.
They do whatever they want.
Apparently. Oh, we need to go steal a jet. Wait, how did we get up here? Oh, we stole a different jet. Don't worry about that one, though.
How do we get an Atlas that fast? You're asking the wrong questions. Get in.
It's just so weird. Any final theories y'all want to talk about?
I want to see what's gonna happen with Crow. Like, what's gonna happen with Crow actually? Because like he's feeling guilty for sure.
I guess we could. I thought about this. So far we've seen the people who orchestrate the Wizard of Oz from their story. Like, there's certain characters that are based on those characters. Obviously, Ozpin is Oz. Salem is the Wicked Witch. Crow is the Scarecrow. Ironwood is the Tin Man. The Lionheart was the Lion. And that's implied that Dorothy will be involved with Vacuo. But so far it's like the opposite has happened, where Ironwood had a heart and is now losing his heart. The Lion had bravery and then became a coward. So it's like, for Crow, does that mean Crow had a brain and now he's stupid? Is that the reason why he teamed up with Tyrion? Is he just going to be stupid from this point on until it kills him?
Yeah, like, does this man even have the will to fight anymore? I mean, yeah, he did say he's like, I'll make sure of it. But
I'll avenge you from the death that I caused.
yeah,
shit.
the way the way this is going, I'm like, all right, how are you gonna do that exactly?
I'll make sure that James pays. James didn't do anything wrong to that scenario. Crow doesn't know jack shit about what's going on. He tried to. Oh, let's talk to James. And then he was like, oh, fuck you, Crow, or Clover.
Yeah. Because I guess at this point, there's not just two parties at this point. It's not like everybody against Salem. As of right now, I think the opposite has happened now, where there's division. You got Team RWBY and theirs, and I feel like there's going to be even a further divide from that. And then you've got Ironwood, you got Salem, and you have Robin and her crew, and I guess the people of Mantle, because he's literally abandoned them. So who's going to be like the leader for them? And it's probably going to be Robin. So you've got like 4 parties, possibly 5 splitting off here in a second.
The hearts of men are easily swayed. Salem's infamous line essentially translates to, humans are stupid.
She ain't wrong.
But
Sure
the bright side
can
is, I guess you can't sway Ironwood's heart if he doesn't have one anymore, if he's become heartless.
He's become just like, I mean, to an extent, he has become like Salem. A little bit.
Heartless.
Sometimes you have to become the thing you hate the most to beat it. Can't beat him? Join him.
And then betray them.
It is I, General Ironwood, Seeker of Darkness.
Coming in with shades and double guns.
What does nobody name be? Maxage?
He lost his heart in that. Look at that. Rip.
Oh man.
But that Kingdom Hearts reference. I didn't see you coming.
Well, I guess we should get to best boy and best girl and then the ratings. Mike, best boy and best girl?
Oscar and Penny.
Shocker. That last one's a real shocker. Travis, how about you?
Shocker.
I'm thinking Ironwood and Penny. No, you know what? Not Penny. What's her name? The
Neo?
last chick? Yeah, Neo. So she just danced over everybody and took the thing like it was nothing. I mean, just making it easy. I don't know why she didn't do it in the first place.
Exactly. That's how fuck it should have been. For best girl, will be Neo as well. Penny was great, but Neo just, that was so good. That's everything I wanted Neo to be. As for best boy, I think I'm going to have to go with Oscar as well. I really loved Ironwood shooting him. Holy shit, what a scene. But Oscar was just so good in this episode.
Like, how much cooler would the scene have been if he had like put on shades and then shot him? Would you?
Oh, if he had new attachments, like in Deus Ex Human Revolution, and they just fucking switched over.
Yeah, exactly. And then he just like, and then he just said something. Like,
maybe if he would have been like, looks like this dog has had its day.
He was like, what?
Sorry, Oscar, that was your last shot. Boom.
GG.
We'll give it a shot.
Just said some corny line and just shot him.
Well, let's get to ratings then, Mike.
I'm gonna give it a 10. I mean, cliffhanger side, because that's just cliffhangers and shows.
Travis.
I think a 10. It was a great episode. A lot of cool stuff happened, and it makes me want to watch the next one.
I'm gonna give it a 9. I'll agree. Makes me a lot of cool stuff happened. I really want to watch the next one. A little bit of flaws here and there. A couple of things I didn't like, but for the most part, I'd say it's pretty dang good. And animation was great. The story was great. Dialogue was so much better than the last one. Jesus Christ, I can't even begin to say how much better it was.
What are you doing, Harriet? I immediately after saying, you you were, and then you treated us.
Let's go talk this out. I'm gonna kill you.
I was like, what? Like, what?
This is my new semblance. I flip a coin, and I'm either good today or bad today. Oh, it's tails. Fuck you, Clover.
Whoops, didn't mean to team up with Tyrion to kill you. Even though I knew Tyrion was trying to kill you. I didn't mean to drive my sword and punch you to knock you.
How could I have seen this happen? Ah!
I didn't mean I didn't mean to not see Tyrion in a field of snow. Stab me in the back. Just like, what's going on here?
When he said, let's put the kid to bed, I thought he meant a deathbed. I don't know.
That whole thing was just like, as they were flying back, I was so confused. But all right, I'm just stop there because that was the last episode. We're gonna leave that where it's at.
I'm really happy that Hill was arrested too. Just gotta say that.
She earned
Makes
it.
sense.
Oh yeah. Fucking crashed a plane. Not Tyrion. She crashed the plane. It's her
She
fault.
caused that. Yep.
Well, I think we should end it there since Travis is having a hard time saying any more as it is. So hey,
GG.
thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Actually, I should give this a better ending. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next discussion video that we do. We probably aren't quite done with RWBY yet. There are a couple of videos I still want to make. I want to make a full season review, just the good, the bad, the ugly. I also want to have us all make like a comprehensive list, like our 10 favorite characters, and then give them a score ranking, so that way we could give it our own, like, the accumulated top 10 score and discuss that. So if there's any ideas that you have that you'd like to see along those lines, anything like that, anything that's a little bit farther out, leave it in the comments below. So until next time, bye.